really hope caffeine's not bad for you. I would be bankrupt without caffeine, I think.
Fair enough. Episode 3, people.
Trace,
we're here, caffeined up, ready to go.
Fired up. So we might start yelling a little bit on this podcast. So if it gets too loud.
How much coffee have you had today?
Well, as of right now, when we're recording this podcast, this would be my, I guess, 2.5.
No, that's not bad. You want a Celsius right now? We can.
If I shotgun
that
a
up.
Celsius right now, oh my gosh.
Let's go.
I think I would have a panic attack. I think I'd have a panic attack and then blackout.
You know when you just like keep having caffeine to like stay up and drive or something, and then it just induces the anxiety feel where your heart's racing, but you're awake, but you're not more alert or anything. You're just kind of,
so I kind of experienced that a little bit. Yeah, when I went to Florida and I drove the 10 hours, like I drank a decent amount of caffeine like every couple of hours. And yeah, I could feel like towards the end, it was more of like a nervousness.
Dude, that's tough. It's a tough feeling. But first off, we need you to acknowledge the Georgia TCU game.
No.
Georgia, man.
No, you know what?
No chance they're covering the spread, right?
You know what, Joe? I am a man of my mistakes, and I will sit here on this podcast
and deny,
and say I never said that.
Here's the thing, though. You were right. The over was a lock.
I mean, it was
because Georgia did it by themselves. Not quite.
So,
but actually, no, they did. They did. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a man of my word, and I will admit my mistakes and say I completely botched the TCU Georgia score. I botched the spread. I botched the winner.
Got the over.
And I did get the over, so I went 1 for 4.
But you did claim you were going to parlay it, so.
Yeah, so luckily we didn't parlay it. I almost put a lot of money, but luckily we didn't because we don't have
We're
money.
talking, guys, like at least $10, maybe 20.
Yeah, we were talking, I was going to have to take out a small loan.
We're talking double digits.
Small loan.
Double digits.
Small loan. It's like when you go to Gelati Celeste. You have to take out a small loan.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, so anyway, got that wrong. But majority of my picks were right.
We'll definitely jump into
for the wild
picks
card.
For the weekend. But
yeah, it's unfortunate. So that's unfortunate. But you know what's fortunate, Joe?
Tell me what's fortunate.
You know what I did over the weekend that I haven't done in a long, long time?
What's that?
I hopped on to my little PS4. I grabbed the controller by the horns. I played Fortnite, and God forbid, right? Me and my buddy got a dub. I mean, the dub felt.
Do you know that I've never played Fortnite ever? I used to watch my roommates play it some in college, but.
So it's been really
once.
Nice to do this podcast with you, but you're gonna have to find another co-host.
The first strike was me not liking country music.
Bang.
Strike 2, never played Fortnite.
I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more strike.
3. You know what the saying is?
Yeah.
2 strikes, you're out.
It's 1, 2.
Man, this turned into a singing podcast.
You're out.
Between this and the Whopper.
I played Fortnite, right? Yeah. And let me preface with this. I'm not a huge video game guy. I did love sports games growing up. Like I played a lot of FIFA and Madden growing up. Played a little bit of Call of Duty, but never got a really into like the first-person shooter much. Went to college, and Fortnite came out, and it was like 2016, I think. 2017, around that time. And me and my buddies in college would all get our TVs and go to one dorm room, right?
And just set up
4 TVs.
That's pretty cool.
And it would be, seriously, probably top 5 college memory. If any of my college friends are listening from here, I mean, it was unbelievable. We'd have we play squads in Fortnite, TV, PS4. It was unbelievable. We would lose so many games, which makes no sense because the communication was unbelievable. But to wrap the story up, got a dub, first dub in probably a year or so, year plus. And did it ever feel good?
You got me fired up talking about the sports games because that was always meant like NCAA and Madden, which NCAA with NIL stuff's coming back, and that's got me fired up. Don't have anything to play it on, but I'll find a way.
What are the chances that we are going to be featured on that game
once we get drafted?
NCAA. Well, we still have eligibility left.
Or do we become like commentators for it?
Yes.
The next Madden. Instead, it's Ask Joe, Ask Christian.
So how like Pat McAfee's the new face of college football and that commentating. We are the face of college football announcing video game.
That's pretty cool. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but I'll take it.
But likely.
But okay, I want to jump into so much NFL stuff to cover. Sorry to cut you off.
And such a little time.
Such a little time. I will say, well, no, I'm going to get into the games in a minute. But first, I got a little question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it what was the dumbest decision The thought is, what is the most frustrating part of this past weekend to watch? I've got 3 different scenarios from it. So, what was the dumbest decision? First of all, Joey Bosa. I'm going to lump 3 of his together. First of all, lining up in the neutral zone on the sack that was negated because of neutral zone infraction. He wasn't even the one who had the sack, just lined up off sides. Or 2, his yelling at the ref personal foul that set up the kickoff. And then 3, him with the unsportsmanlike conduct when he set up the little Trevor Lawrence 2-point conversion.
I mean, literally, he went boop.
Literally, I mean, he's a foot away, and the man's got massive long arms.
Yeah, he's like 7'12". He's huge.
And by massive, I don't mean strong, because he looks like a little skinny lizard, but just stuck his arm out.
You think,
okay.
Who do you think can bench more? You're Trevor Lawrence.
I am very biased with Trevor Lawrence. Went to South Carolina, obviously. Don't like Clemson.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have no comment.
Anyway, so just
you're
reaches his long, lanky arms across, gets a 2-point conversion. So Joey Bosa there. Number 2, Kirk Cousins throwing the ball 3 yards into man coverage on a 4th and 8.
You like that?
Throws it 5 yards before the line to gain.
Yep. And of course they don't get it.
On a game-changing 4th down. Game on the line. Don't know what the man's doing there. Number 3, the Ravens clock management. Now, I will preface it with saying, I understand that it was 4th and 20. You could be like, well, the clock didn't matter. I would argue that it did matter. 1, it changed their play calls. 2, they, like the holding call that they got wouldn't have happened, I don't think, with more time on the clock, because he had to get out of bounds. So he reverses the field to run across. You're always more likely to get a holding when you try to reverse the field.
Very true.
So all that to say, which one was the most frustrating?
For me, right, watching the games, overall was the dumbest, I think, was the Joey Bosa. The fact that he threw his helmet. Like, I don't even, the other stuff he did, he made mistakes. He didn't have a great game. Great. But the mental error of throwing your helmet, because the Jags would have kicked an extra point.
Dude.
Right? Jags kick an extra point, and then they kick the field goal at the end of the game, and it's overtime. They still have a chance.
Dude, I'm with you because, well, okay, I think that was the most costly.
Yeah.
I think the most frustrating, though, was probably the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens would have won either way, even if it went to overtime. But just watching them huddling up with 1.5 minutes left, just running on the clock. They ended the game with a timeout. The timeout that they did take when they had 2 remaining was because they were in a delay of game.
Yep.
Like, that was just kind of one of those, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
But to be fair, I don't know if part of that was because they don't have Lamar Jackson. Maybe the 2-minute offense isn't the same. They haven't practiced things like trying to get a play call in. Yeah, there's a lot happening. That was frustrating. Kirk Cousins one, also very frustrating, but I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he thought pressure was coming sooner and thought that Hawkinson would break the tackle. Still don't love it. You got to throw it past the line of game.
Yeah, for me, I think Kirk Cousins ranks above the Ravens.
So you would go Joey Bosa, Kirk Cousins,
yeah,
Ravens.
I mean, 4th and 8, you got to throw it 8 yards. Right? I mean,
just not 3.
Yeah.
In man coverage too.
Yeah.
Like, I get it if they're zone and you think, well, okay, zone is Jamar Chase, but you're tight end and man, like, that's low percentage.
Especially against a linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, linebacker titans to wrap up. But okay, so run through of the games.
Yep.
49ers Seahawks.
Bang.
Pretty much what we expected.
Yeah.
Closer first half. All the games I would say are closer than I expected.
I agree.
Seahawks obviously just didn't hang in the second half, which you were texting me because I had the 49ers in the Super Bowl. You're like, look at the Seahawks.
Yeah. Seahawks were up at half too.
I was like, it's not going to last.
17-16, they were up.
I was like,
Geno Smith was playing pretty well.
It's like, it's not going to last.
Yeah,
but
most good
so that one pulled away. Then Chargers Jags. That game was so
hold on, before we go to Chargers Jags, I want to make one comment. The 49ers second half looked like the Super Bowl team we were talking about.
Well, that's the way they've been all year.
No, I mean, it's 11 straight games.
Well,
right?
They've
won.
Yeah, so they got Christian McCaffrey game 1 with him barely used. They lost, then won 11 straight. But I think there were 3 games they didn't allow points in the second half this season.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is so solid.
But it's a complete team now with Debo and Christian McCaffrey and Kittle and then Brandon Ayuk, and then the defense being so shut down.
Yeah. They're still going to lose the Eagles, though, but keep going.
Yeah. All right. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
TCU.
Yeah. Hey, I went better. I was more.
Yes,
I was higher. I was better. I was more. I was higher. I was more. on
You're
the
right.
wild card predictions.
You're right, because next game, Chargers, Jags.
Yep. Who'd you say?
I had the Chargers.
You had
was
who?
feeling great about it. 27-0.
Yeah.
And then second half, the Jags, honestly, I think the defense were the difference in this game. The Jags defense was shut down. They were getting so much pressure on Herbert while still covering receivers.
Great game plan in the second half.
Yeah, they came out nice. And then I don't know whether to give this credit to Trevor Lawrence or Peterson. Maybe probably both of them. But Trevor Lawrence bounced back well in the second half after just an abysmal first half, which I think that he got overhyped the way he played in the second half. But I think the mental bounce back of just playing well and not getting timid and still throwing the ball is tough.
I think
it's like if you shake the ball in golf.
Your bias is screwing you up here, Joe. Trevor Lawrence, to quote Pat McAfee, dog, right? Dog. I mean, the fact that this guy has the resiliency to throw 4 picks, right? He had the worst half of a football quarterback ever in playoff history. And to come back, and yeah, I agree. I agree that the Chargers defense didn't play that great in the second half. And I agree that Peterson probably had a better game plan and the Jags coaching staff had a better game plan. But who's the one executing that game plan? Dog.
It's right? A lot of people. Well, here's the thing, though. I agree to some of what you're saying. I think, though, that in the second half, the Chargers, while the Jags were getting pressure and covering receivers, the Chargers were neither getting pressure or covering receivers.
Yeah.
So, yes, he came out and he was still slinging it and he got more accurate and he played better. But he had a ton of time and a lot of open receivers.
He did. Better game plan.
And then there were all these crosses that he would dump to Kirk or get ETN, and they would just run like 30 yards with it. Like,
right. But
yes, it's tough. It's like, again, to bring in a little golf example, if you shank the ball in the woods, it's hard to come back with confidence and try stuff and not get in your head. And so there's that to be said. But I just think that people were like, Trevor Lawrence is a hero. And I think Joey Bosa, the Chargers defense it was
a culmination of stuff, but
as it always is.
Give Trevor Lawrence the credit, dude.
I don't know if that'll happen.
Some credit.
I was way too happy with the first half performance.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Well, I was happy with the field goal at the end. It's just solidify the win.
Barely sneaking. So yes, you're right. You did better with me.
Yep.
I was feeling so confident.
Way better than you.
So confident.
No, just one game, but
then Bills Fins.
Yes.
That game surprised me.
That game was actually surprisingly close.
I was impressed with how the Fins showed up. Yep. Skylar Thompson playing way better than expected. Still made a number of mistakes, but like came out pretty good.
Would you ever name your son Skylar?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't thought about that at all. Maybe. I don't hate the name.
No,
also, I'm not like
cool
that
name.
has to be a name.
It's cool definitely a gender neutral name.
Yeah, it's cool. I kind of like gender neutral names. Kind of cool. Anyway, I think the Bills though played really sloppy. I still like them as a Super Bowl team.
Yep.
But I think that was a sloppy game, and you've got to like you can beat the Fins playing like that. You can't beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
Bengals would be I still like the Chiefs over the Bengals right now because of how injured the O-line is. Yeah, they worked so hard to rebuild after last year and then all the injuries. And they had another one last night against the Ravens.
Yeah,
and so you're just putting Joe Burrow in the place where you've got to be a superstar. Which he is, but that's not
they're
the
going to have
most
to devise
sustainable.
Their game plan around just those short, high percentage passes because he's not going to have time to complete much else.
Make sure Mixon's playing well.
So, I mean, overall, Dolphins, I thought played well.
Mixon's got to block better too, though.
Yeah, once again, I really like Dolphins head coach, man.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, I love McDaniels. But overall, I thought McDaniels had a good game plan, and Bills did play a little sloppy, but give some credit to the Dolphins actually having a good game plan.
I enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
Then game 2, the Giants-Vikings. Told you were crazy with the 2 scores for the Vikings, though.
I really thought, Joe, that the Vikings were going to be pissed off because everyone was saying they're a bad 13-4 team and they don't deserve to be that's the 2 seed and all this stuff. And I thought everyone was saying that, analysts, fans, and they came out like a herd of sheep, just waiting for the Giants to take control of them.
Dude, the thing is though, they just aren't that good of a team.
Yeah, I mean,
which, to be fair, I knew going into it. I just thought their luck was going to continue one more week because I thought it was going to be a close game.
Yep.
Which it was. but I thought that they were going to get lucky one more week and it was going to run out against the 49ers. That was just what I assumed.
Yep.
I was wrong. Kirk Cousins also threw the ball 3 yards on 4th and 8 with the game on the line.
Well, also, Danny Dimes played extremely well.
He did play really well. Also,
he's so fast.
Saquon played so well too, which is, we all knew that he could be this. He was that. And then that opened up Danny Dimes some more. Daniel Jones played very well.
But Danny Dimes was a what? A dog.
A dog. And then we kind of touched on it, but the Bengals-Ravens game.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens showed up better. Huntley played well.
Agreed.
I thought it was a potential.
More of a blowout.
I did too. I thought that the Bengals were going to win. I was pretty confident that was going to happen no matter what. Thought that there was potential of it being a close game, but probably not.
Yep.
They played well. Got to give them props there. But man, that was so tough to watch.
Yeah, the final last drive. I know, man. Well, it's always frustrating looking from the outside in and the time management and stuff. But like we talked about earlier, I mean,
Lamar they almost got a delay of game though.
I know.
They had to burn a timeout to keep from getting a delay.
Who do you blame? Do you blame the coach, blame the quarterback, offense coordinator? Who do you blame in that situation?
Again, this is easy looking from the outside.
It is.
I think
hindsight's 2020.
Part of it is the way the Ravens are structured. They're a run team. They're not like the Bengals doing a 2-minute drive, easy money with Joe Burrow. Not the case with the Ravens. So I think that that's tough and that has to factor in. But I think that part of it's new quarterback, not having Lamar. A lot of it's coaching. You've got to you've got to have some quick plays.
Figure it out.
And as a coach, you've got to know that you have a new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not new. It's been several weeks now, but you've got to be prepared of here are the plays. Here's how we're doing it. You just can't do that because you set yourself in a position where you're very limited play calling wise.
Right.
I thought there was a chance though when the ball got tipped up.
Oh my God.
I was kind of close.
Do you see that?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a very tough catch, but wow.
If he would have caught that.
With drops though, there were so many drops in the early part of the Bills defense game. Did you see that?
I know.
Waddle had a couple. Anyway.
Yeah. That hurt the Dolphins bad too.
And then, okay, so tonight, this is Monday, episode's coming out Tuesday, so it'll be yesterday. Bucks, Cowboys. Do you still like Bucks here?
I still really like the Bucks. So here's my thing. My thing is if it's week 9, right, and the Cowboys play the Bucks, I think Cowboys take it. I think Cowboys overall are more talented, better, more weapons. Overall, I think a better team. But Cowboys in the playoffs compared to Tom Brady in the playoffs.
I completely agree. I think Cowboys are a better team. We all know they choke. I think Tom Brady, well, let me put it this way. I heard someone say this and I completely agree. If you pick with Tom Brady to beat the Bucks, if you pick Tom Brady to beat the Cowboys, they lose. You can live with yourself. You're like, you know what? I picked Tom Brady. We're good. High percentage. If you pick against Tom Brady and the Cowboys win, or in the Bucks win, that's hard to come back from. Where you're like, I chose Dak over Tom Brady. I went against the GOAT. Because do you see this? He has 35 playoff wins right now. That's third highest franchise. I think the Patriots are at 37 or 38, if I'm not wrong, wins as a franchise. I understand that things are different. And at some point things change, but man, at some point you've got to just trust that.
Yeah. Well,
as a not huge Tom Brady fan, although Man in the Arena kind of changed that a little bit for me.
Did it?
Even when they played the Panthers in the Super Bowl, when it was recapped, I was like, I kind of wanted him to get that. Which, anyway, it's a whole nother
never
conversation.
say that again. Yeah, don't ever say that again.
I regret it.
Yeah,
I have vulnerability remorse right now.
You better take that back. But I think this is Tom Brady's 20th season in the playoffs. 20.
Dang.
I mean, you can count on two hands how many NFL players played 20 seasons.
Yeah, dude. We'll see, but I think it'll be a good game. But I think Bucks take it.
Yeah. I do too.
Okay, so then moving forward to division predictions, Jags, Chiefs. Who you got?
Chiefs. I mean, I would, as much as I would sit here and love to say Trevor Lawrence has another great game because he's a dog.
He's not. He's not that guy.
I don't think that there's any way the Jags beat the Chiefs here. I mean, what do you think, Joe?
I think I've got Chiefs. Jags got lucky to barely beat the Titans.
I agree.
They got lucky again with the Chargers being down 27-0. Yes, great comeback. I just do not see that continuing with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I think Chiefs all the way here.
Yeah, me too.
Giants, Eagles.
I think the Giants, Eagles. This might be a little bit of unpopular opinion here.
Tell me what you think.
Because Danny Dimes played great. Giants had a great game plan. Eagles win by 3 scores. I don't even think it's close. I think with the bye week being in Philadelphia and a healthy Jalen Hurts, I think Eagles win 3 scores. It's not even close.
I think that you are absolutely wild for that. I think Eagles win. Yep. I think you're right there.
Check.
I think it's a close game.
I think it's over by the third quarter. I think in the third quarter, you're turning on something.
You're saying you're resting starters in this?
Yeah, I'm saying fourth quarter, Eagles rest Jalen Hurts.
No, but I do think Eagles win.
Yeah, I think they win by a substantial margin.
Bills.
Third quarter, you're turning on a rerun of your favorite TV show.
Clip that. All right, Bengals, Bills. Who you got?
This one is such a great divisional matchup. Overall, I got to stick with my gut, just like I did last year. Joe Burr. Joe Burr, even with the hurt offensive line.
Okay.
It's going to take the Bengals. This one is going to be very close. Not like the Eagles 3 scores. This one's going to be, I think, a 3-point win by the Bengals.
Okay, I like close game. I think Bills take it, though. I think they clean up some.
Yeah, they're sloppy.
They were sloppy last week. I think they're just the better team right now with injuries.
Sloppy.
Sloppy. I think Joe Mixon needs to block way better, especially with a hurt O-line.
And he's normally pretty solid, too.
Well, he's a great running back. I don't think he's great blocking.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to hurt them. I don't really see their defense doing a lot against the Bills. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Bills take it.
Yeah.
I think there's some turnovers and excitement and a little bit of back and forth. I see Bills winning. I still like them going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I agree to disagree.
Okay. And then since we don't know this yet, let's do Cowboys versus 49ers and then Bucks versus 49ers. Yep. So Cowboys, 49ers.
49ers. I mean, the 49ers, they looked complete. What do you say? I mean, on both sides of the ball.
I think Eagles are also a very complete looking team for the NFC wise. I think 49ers, though, are just so complete with all the offensive weapons that they built this year, plus the defense just being unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be really tough not to have an Eagles 49ers matchup in the NFC Championship. So
Giants could do it, but I don't see Cowboys beating.
Joe, 3 TDs, baby.
All right, then Bucks, if it's Bucks 49ers.
I think Tom Brady, as much as this might be a controversial take, I think he gets crushed by the 49ers.
I agree. We saw what that regular season, towards the end of it, looked like. I just don't. The Bucks, even with Tom Brady, don't match up well against the 49ers.
No, dude. The 49ers are going to score.
They're going to score on the Bucks. They're also going to lock down the Bucks. Yeah. I don't see that going well. Yeah, you can argue Brock Purdy versus Tom Brady. How does that look?
Yeah.
I don't think it matters who the 49ers quarterback is.
Well, just because they have so many weapons.
You've got Debo and Christian McCaffrey, both healthy, both looking unreal.
Don't forget Mitchell.
Well, right. Mitchell's coming in pretty solid.
Yeah.
One of them have been on running. Sometimes one of them has a little bit of an off week.
Yeah.
Look good. Brandon Ayuk gets slept on. He's looking very good. Juwan Jennings even. George Kittle has been hot.
Yes.
I mean, man, 49ers, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're winning the Super Bowl. All right.
Oh, that's a bold call.
So let's do some, what's that?
Bold call. 49ers in the Super Bowl.
They're not going to beat the Eagles.
Eagles won by 3 scores against the Niners, too.
Wild. All right. 1 minute news. You want to hit it first?
Yes. There has been a huge winner in the Mega Millions out of Maine that won $1.35 billion. Inflation fell from 7.1% in November, year over year, to 6.5% in December.
What a newscaster. Trevor Lawrence joins Ben Roethlisberger as the second quarterback to throw 4 picks and 4 touchdowns in a playoff game as the Jags came back from a 27-point deficit to beat the Chargers. And then this was cool. Damar Hamlin was back in the Bills facility this week. Just looked like a super heartwarming moment, although he watched the game at home.
In more heavier news, there was a plane crash in Nepal that was carrying 72 passengers, and unfortunately there's 68 so far that are confirmed dead. News out of Alabama basketball, Darius Miles is charged in connection with a capital murder case with another individual outside of Alabama's campus.
In a new development in the unraveling of Congressman George Santos, a Brazilian news outlet is reporting that an on-the-record woman who traveled with Santos is claiming that he drained her bank accounts and pawned all of her jewelry, which is tough. Dude, have you been following this at all?
You know, I actually have not been. I don't even know who that is.
Okay, so this is
Being the oblivious young man I am.
He is a congressman newly elected, so like sworn in January 3rd from New York. And so in, I guess, December, so right before he got elected, first it came out that I haven't even heard this college, but like claimed to have gone to
Barracuda?
Baruch, some kind of college, never heard of it, and NYU, and then worked in finance with Citigroup and Goldman Sachs.
Oh.
Turns out none of that was true. None of the institutions had any records of him. Fraudulent. So then he admitted that was made up. He's like, yeah, I embellished my resume a little bit. A little bit isn't just.
So did he work for these companies at all?
Like the companies had no records. The colleges had no records. So none of that was like at all true. Like just straight up put it on your resume. Not true at all. Then apparently he had this nonprofit that was called like Friends of Pets United, something like that. That apparently no record or not really legitimate at all. Another interesting one.
So he just made up everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Then he said he had 13 properties, and then he was talking about this bill about landlords and so on and so on. Turns out that's not true. So most of it's not.
Okay, so most of what this guy stands for.
Get this is crazy. So he said he's Jewish, and that his grandmom was fled to Brazil during World War II to escape everything there. Turns out, I guess, that he's not Jewish. And then he was talking about some kind of Jewish conversion to Catholicism. And he's like, well, I meant I was Jew-ish. Like Jew-like. Like Jew.
I mean, I'm like a Jew.
ISH.
Wow.
So, I mean, just seems ridiculous. Then it's come out that he's under investigation for discrepancies in financial disclosures, which I didn't really read a lot about. This is just kind of what I've seen. And then I saw that like Deutsche Bank, apparently he used to go by a different name, which is also a little bit of a red flag. A little sketch. Deutsche Bank, king of sketch, was not doing business with him because he was too sketchy that they were like, this is fraud and he's in a Ponzi scheme or something like that.
Are Ponzi schemes bad?
Not if you're on top.
Yeah, if you're the one doing it, I mean,
then seems like a good thing to me.
Seems like a great deal.
But
like anyway, the Madoff, you watch the Madoff Netflix docuseries?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's what this feels like. Or did you watch Inventing Anna with
no.
Julia Garner? But
Julia Garner's great though.
Yeah, she's like, since the role in Ozarks, she's just like so good.
Yeah.
But this was an immigrant who came in, it's based on a true story, and she wanted to make this kind of like social club, kind of like a co-working space, but like super up class. Anyway, got these huge banks to sign on for deals. Everything was fabricated about her past. She said that she was like an immigrant from this like royalty basically, and that wasn't true. And anyway,
so just
super wild. That's what this feels like,
fabricated.
which I don't understand. How could someone who's getting sworn into Congress in 2023?
How do they not check that?
Exactly.
Like, even I feel like some jobs, they do like background checks as far as like you received income.
Yeah, and here's a minor job of running the country. I understand it's not like president running, but like,
but still,
kind of a
Congress
big deal.
of New York.
So then everything with this Brazilian report, and apparently there was something that happened when he was 16 in Brazil where him and his mom were caught up in some kind of fraud or scam.
So is he going to resign?
People are calling for it, but
yeah,
he doubled down. I was like, no, I'm not going to resign unless every single one who voted for me calls for it. So,
wow.
I mean, he's a Republican, and all the Republicans there are like in this state of New York are calling for him to resign. And so we'll see. I mean, he's on the hot seat, but this is just, I mean, realistically, I think something will come out legally soon where
he's going to have to.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I'm just ready for the Hulu series that comes out.
I know. The Netflix docuseries that comes out.
100%.
Yeah.
But okay. So speaking of this crazy,
I think it's my favorite segment.
Yeah, we're going into Florida Man, which is becoming one of my favorites. Honestly, the fake made up stuff is just not matching like the craziness of reality. We've got this George Santos thing. the Florida man stories. Today, though, it is a Florida woman story.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're crazy too.
We don't discriminate.
We don't discriminate. So story 1. A Florida woman broke into a police station, eats officers' chicken and asparagus, and gets arrested after leaving her ID behind. The woman smashed a window to enter the station in the early hours of the morning, took 2 ready-made chicken and asparagus meals from the fridge, and proceeded to microwave one. She then consumed the meal inside of the kitchen in the police station, leaving the asparagus behind on the counter. The next morning, police were able to track her down quickly because she had accidentally left her ID and entire wallet behind.
That seems like something you would do.
Break in or leaving my wallet.
Leave your wallet and then eat chicken.
Leaving the asparagus, super healthy. Okay, there's story number 2. A Florida woman's adventure to the zoo took a frightening turn when she found herself in the wrong exhibit. The woman reportedly trespassed into the Central Florida Zoo in the early hours of the morning to take a picture of herself with a sloth for her Instagram account. After entering the exhibit she believed belonged to the sloth, she was horrified to discover a cougar instead of sloths.
Common mistake.
Common mistake. Thankfully, a security guard noticed the woman entering the exhibit and was able to rescue and detain her before the cougar was aggravated.
Thank goodness. So
Close call.
I love these stories because they're both so crazy that they could be true.
Yeah. Like, honestly, none of them even feel that crazy for Florida.
I know. But here's what I think. Story 2, Joe, has got to be fake, and this is why. You used Instagram. You
thought that made it more believable.
Account, and you're a content creator.
I just thought that made it more believable because it's like, but like how you could totally see an influencer trying to like sneak in for like
but
an Instagram
I know
picture.
If you're trying to make up a story,
then I would put something like that in.
Instagram is top of mind because you use Instagram all the time for content.
That's fair. That's fair.
So story 2 is
I thought
fake.
I had you there.
Come on.
I felt good
2
about
for
that story.
3.
So 2 and 1, advancing to the next round.
2 and 1. Feels good.
That's tough. You got a question?
Yes. And I think this one is exciting for me. Would you rather fight a chicken to death every time you get in the car, every single time, bang, bang, or an orangutan to death once a year, but you have a sword?
Okay, let me ask a question with this.
Okay.
For the chicken, when you kill it, is that like free groceries? Like, do you just get it? Oh,
it just dies.
It just like
But
disappears.
no one knows
Does it evaporate?
Yeah, it evaporates.
Okay.
No one knows. Like, you don't have to sit here in front of people kill chickens all the time.
But if you're getting like, if you were getting in the car with someone,
no, they wouldn't know.
Oh, they wouldn't even see you kill a chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for the orangutan, is the sword? Is it like a Harry
Does
Potter
it, I
sword
don't know
that
if
just
it matters?
about the chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd tell people.
Whatever.
So for the sword for the
chicken.
orangutan, does it just like pop up? Like,
yeah. So as soon as you see an orangutan, like you're notified. It's not when you sleep. You're given a sword, like a lightsaber almost. It just comes in your hand. But the orangutan has the motive and the aggression to kill you.
And that's just at any point in the year.
Correct. It can happen podcasting. It can happen at church. It doesn't matter.
I mean, chicken would be easy. You just like snap the neck, move on. You'd become numb to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say the orangutan. I'm going to get trained up. I'm going to be the best sword fighter.
You're insane.
That's not up for debate.
No, you're literally insane.
Dude,
because
here's the thing. I would crush it. That would be exhilarating. People would pay money for that.
I would not, because I know you would die. Like,
you would die.
No.
I would live.
You had a
you
sword,
would die.
If you had a sword against an aggressive orangutan, you're going to die.
Why?
Because
I know why you would die. Why would I die?
Because you're going to try to hit it with the sword. It's going to dodge you and just grab you by the neck.
How do you think I'm fighting? Like,
yes. Even as athletic as you are, I think a 300-pound, 5-foot, 8-foot wingspan orangutan.
Dude, you saying like 8 foot like it's crazy. If my wingspan's 6 feet with a sword, that's more than 8 feet.
How big's a sword?
Like 3 feet, 4 feet?
So you have 1 foot on this orangutan? This orangutan's
no, that's not the way that wingspan
You're gonna
works.
Get murdered by this orangutan.
Say if it's 6 feet, we'll give me like 3 feet right here, plus a sword, that's 7 feet. Theirs is at 4 feet. Like the wingspan's both sides. It's not like it's extending out from their body 8 feet.
You're going to die. I don't think I think maybe, okay, if you do it 10 times, maybe you get 2. Maybe you kill them twice, but the other 8 you die. So I go chicken, man.
But you don't think that you fight an orangutan a couple times, you're like, oh, I get how to fight him now. Like,
no.
if
Each one's different. Each one has a different personality.
They fight the same way though.
No, they don't.
And because I keep winning, I learn from each fight. They're dead. They can't tell anyone they're dead.
No, they can't tell anyone, but everyone has a different personality.
You're wrong.
I would 100% rather just strangle a chicken every time I got in a
Okay,
fight.
I'll give you this. Yours is the smart choice, but man.
Like you're going to actually die.
Have fun.
You can't die by a chicken, but you can 100% die by an aggressive orangutan. The orangutan weighs almost 2 times what you weigh.
I'm light on my feet.
You're going to be light in their mouth.
Hard to argue with that.
Yeah, dude, you're crazy for picking that, but okay.
All right. Well, my growth mindset for the week then is to like get better at fighting so I can beat an orangutan.
Yeah, well, that should be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way, last thing I'm going to say, you beat an orangutan, even with sword. In fact, you could have a gun.
Hold on. You said lightsaber is one of them. That's a huge difference.
No.
Give me a lightsaber, they're done.
No, it's a sword, but it's like, it pops in your hand like a lightsaber in Star Wars.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, go ahead with your spiel.
Dude, this is majorly switching gears and so boring. You want to know what the growth mindset for the week for me? And this kills me to say, I want to get better at sleeping more at night. I thought that I was so smart and had this hack for the last like 3 years trying to build this company of, I need more time in the day. Why don't I just not sleep that much?
Right. Makes sense.
Turns out your body will catch up.
Oh.
I feel like I've been sick the last.
You have been sick a lot lately.
It's just my body, like no immune system. I'm exhausted now. My body's like, yo, you want me to be at orangutan fighting level? You got to step it up.
So you're going to take you're saying that you have a weak immune system, your words, not mine, and that you're tired.
No. At the moment, I have a weak immune system.
But if the orangutan comes in right now, you think with a weak immune system and tired, you beat it?
Yeah, adrenaline, bro.
All right, okay. I disagree. We'll just disagree there. But so how often are you sleeping every night? Like, what do you think? I mean, obviously it changes, but
I think I was sub 6 for a long period of time.
Were you
like
really?
It actually, yeah. In fact, so I used to have a Whoop, and when it actually factored in time that I was asleep, there were a lot of nights at like the 5:30, 5:40.
Just because A, you couldn't go to sleep, or B, you didn't get in bed? Like
both. I think I would shoot for like 6.5 hours in bed, or 7,
and then not fall asleep for an hour.
Well, assuming that meant that was good sleep, because I was like, oh, if I'm trying, well, like say that I was shooting for 7, I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna wake up at 6:30, go to bed at like 11:30, whatever, I would actually get in bed at 11:45, set my alarm, try to like, then do like some tough snooze sleeping. Anyway, I realized a couple things. 1, I need to be in bed more. 2, I need to start a routine to allow myself to get in bed. 3, I like working at night and I can hit a like good flow state. But when I do that and then immediately try to go to sleep, I just don't sleep well because my mind's like in that flow state.
It's just creative. Like it's constant.
Yeah. And then even if it's like some of it's creative and some of it's just like catching up on work, and then there's like a flustered, almost stress state,
you
which
need to
gets carried to sleep.
I think.
Yeah. So
Maybe create like a nightly routine.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I want to build a nice nightly routine that actually separates work a little bit, which this is a whole other conversation. People talked about it a little bit with COVID and working from home, of like, how do you separate work and life? And
it's
at
tough.
some point we'll do like a work-life balance type questions. But then being business owners, it's even harder to separate. Like, you're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so I've
like
just got to create,
company.
Yeah, I've just got to create some type of routines that allow me to separate work from, or not even that separate work from, but like, okay, if I need good sleep, how do I create these rhythms to support that instead of fighting it? So
yeah. Well, good for you, man.
Exhilarating.
Good for you.
Sleep more.
Yeah, good for you.
What you got?
Good for you. For me, it's still on the learning theme, man. I've become kind of hyper fixated on marketing lately.
Yeah.
Not just for Ben X and my company, but overall, just like brand image, emotion, perception, awareness, content, baby. We could talk about content for years. But yeah, man, I mean, just for me, it's still more of a learning mindset, right? Like I said, my word for 2023 is just learning, speed. Like I want to make, hopefully not costly mistakes, but as many mistakes and learn from them as possible. So I'm going to keep up with the learning mindset, man.
Well, dude, I think that's huge. And I would add, not even just learning, but like just the way that you consume things. Like you create based off of how you consume. And so
man, that's good.
Yeah. I wish it was mine. I've heard it places.
Clip that.
But the thing with it is, like, nothing new is under the sun. Like, you're not going to create something fresh. And so we adapt and we modify things, but we're constantly taking in our surroundings. So like the way that you consume different brands is going to affect the way that you create your own, like the way that you experience different brand voices or stuff like that matters a lot.
Yep.
And so I think that that's all wrapped up with the learning of how are you experiencing things. Then you know how to create experiences out of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot more of the consuming while still taking action. So it's like simultaneous, like I'm consuming and trying different stuff with the company and trying different stuff with social media. And so anyway, I think that's the way I got to do it, is like just while I'm learning, make some mistakes and hopefully have some successes from that. But anyway.
All right. So for the draft, I'm thinking best emojis. So it could be most used. It could be.
Do I get the first pick?
You get first pick.
Okay.
Just, it could be a brand new one that you just stumbled upon and you like, but let's hear them.
I'm looking at just like some of my most recently used. And one of the ones I've been using a lot that I really enjoy is the one that has like the two hands over his eyes, but the one's peeking.
A little like,
it's like, it's like, what are you looking at? So that's my number one.
It's like a little like a peekaboo of like, oh no.
Yeah. What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah, I shouldn't be looking, but yet I am.
Okay. I like that. Number one for me, I'm going to do the sunglass emoji, like with the face wearing a sun. Well, I don't know if that's the case or if I just feel so cool when I use that emoji. Like you can't use it and not feel like you're the coolest person.
Very true. I mean, you have to feel that way.
It's like you're wearing a backwards hat.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next one for me, man. I'm going to say the fire emoji. Why?
And no, that was on my list.
Why? Because
you just have these hot takes.
There's no other emoji when you have an outfit that just goes so hard that it's just fire.
When you have a Joe Burrow outfit.
Oh, Joe Burrow. Ice cold.
Ice and fire.
Ice. Yeah.
Song of Ice and Fire. Number two for me is the eyes. I just love that.
Yeah, just like
I use it all the time of like, it just fits for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Number three for me, I'm going with a soldier.
Soldier?
The emoji that's like this, the half.
The salute?
Yeah, the salute guy.
I had that as like a potential.
Oh, I like that.
That is a good one.
It's like, yes, sir.
I like that. I'm going to do the monkey covering its eyes. I just love that.
That's a cute one.
It's fun. A cute one?
That's a cute
it's
one.
A funny one.
No, it's cute. All right. I am gonna, what is this, 4 or 5 for me?
It's 4 for you.
I'm gonna go with the guy or gal that does like this.
It was like, do you remember the little thing you would copy and paste online of like the shrugs?
Yeah.
With the characters of like, here's a parentheses.
Yeah.
And
then now there's an emoji.
It's emoji for it. Look how
I use that all the time. I don't know.
I'm going to do the wonky face.
Wonky.
You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a eyebrows up to the side and like, let me show you.
I think I know what you're talking about.
This one at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's like unsure almost, right?
Yeah, it's like unsure or like, how do I respond to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And to round it out, I'm going to do that emoji that's like happy, kind of like smiling, but it's like crying tears.
Do you like a little bit emotional these days?
Sometimes, yeah. I get a little bit nervous sometimes too.
Real men have feelings.
I have a lot of feelings. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a little torn here. Part of me wants to go with the classic millennial laughing face. It's used a lot. But
LOL.
This is off the wall. I don't think I've ever used this emoji. But the wrestling guys just look like they're tickling each other. It's a little tickle fight.
I'm gonna put that right beside your contact name.
I don't know if I like this. I think I have
guys.
instant regrets already.
Yeah, I'm actually changing it right now.
All right. Well, on that note,
and
did you actually change it?
No.
Did you change it right now?
Yeah. It's not Joe Wise with the wrestling guys.
I think I have regrets about this, but anyway, thanks for listening. No regrets. Not even one letter. Thank you guys for listening. If you're still listening, and if you want to do us a little favor, you can subscribe, follow, share with people. Check us out on social media at Undrafted Amateurs, TikTok and Instagram. Still not .com. Still not the way that usernames, aka handles work.
TikTok, Goog, Spotify, Apple.
Leave ratings, comments, all of those things.
Yeah,
it'd be
it's
awesome.
like the side of like the soda where it's like comments or concerns, call this number.
Or quandaries.
All right, so we're gonna give out Joe's personal cell phone if you have any comments or concerns.
Peace.